Brad Hall here, and right in front of me is a shoe that I've been looking forward to for a while now. It's the New Balance 990 V6, the latest iteration of the classic 990. There are some really interesting updates to this model that I'm going to go over in just a little bit right ahead. That is coming up soon, so stick around. The 990 has been one of my go-to shoes for the last few years. A lot of that V4, a little bit of that V5, a decent amount of the V3. I just love grabbing them, putting them on, wearing them around. They're very comfortable, very easy to tackle a day in them. As you can see, the V6, it's got that 990 DNA inside of it. The upper's got that mix of suede, of mesh. You've got some 3M in there. There's that classic little bit of red. It's still made in the US and it looks to be pretty well made, nicely put together. Now this version does look a little more of the moment. It's got a beefier midsole that seems in line with what those other running shoes are looking like. I've seen people on the internet saying this is Hoka-esque. It's definitely got more body than the previous 990s, but I wouldn't put this in Hoka territory. I actually really like the way it looks. I think it looks a lot better than the V5 midsole. This one is a little bit curvier. It's just got a nice shape, some nice lines. I like what they're doing with this midsole. Now, probably the biggest change with this model is also a part of this midsole, and it's the type of foam they used. On this one, you've got fuel cell. So you can see it says fuel cell on the heel there. This foam is used on a lot of their running shoes, more performance-based. It's supposed to be ultra responsive, nicely cushioned. The shoe feels lighter in hand. I don't know if that's because there's a little less suede on the upper or if that is that fuel cell foam. It does feel pretty nice just with my hand, so I think it's gonna feel even better when I get my foot in there. That's what I always say. Right now I'd put it in the middle of the pack, but it could go up the more I look at it and the more colorways that come out. Some of those colorways that have been teased, the way the color was applied, it transformed this shoe pretty dramatically, and that's something you haven't really seen on the 990 in my opinion. So curious to see what those other colorways are going to look like. Obviously looks are subjective. Maybe this model isn't the right gray New Balance model for you. Fortunately, New Balance does make at least 1 million other gray shoes, so there's a little something for everyone. Now, in terms of sizing, I got my normal size. I feel very content with that, but they did feel a little bit long just with that initial try on. I'll have to spend some time in them to see if that's going to be a problem. Maybe a half size down will be the way to go with this one. But I always say a little bit bigger. That's what I would rather have than a little too small, a little too small. That's just the worst. So I don't feel bad about going with my normal size, but I am gonna do some more testing on that. So those are my initial thoughts on the 990 V6, a shoe I've been very excited about for a while, and I feel just as thrilled to have them in hand, and I can't wait to start putting the miles on them. Thanks everyone for watching.